As I was preparing for this trip to Japan, I was bombarded by excitement from the people I'd tell. I feel like an average conversation would look something like, "What are you doing this summer?" "I'm going to Japan." "Oh, I love Japan. I'd want to go back." At first, I thought it was nice how enthusiastic and supportive people were for this amazing trip. However, the more people I talked to, the more I began to notice how I think almost everyone had a different image of the Japanese culture they experienced and loved than what I was expecting and looking for. Japan is extremely touristy, I think, because of its unique dedication to detail, tradition, and the human experience. That dedication results in quality and enjoyable products, relatable media, and beautiful works. These nice things, however, come from discipline and dedication to beliefs that I think many would abhor. People recognize how conservative principles, hierarchical social structure, and restrictive regulations are foundational to Japanese culture. I think many would change their minds. It's easy to enjoy and praise something we don't have to participate in creating it. But I'm not trying to criticize others' enthusiasm for Japan. For a vacation, I think Japan is an amazing spot, and as a tourist, it is fitting and should be an opportunity to relax and have a good time. As for me, I'm more interested in experiencing Japan by imitation. I think some of the touristy stuff is exciting and interesting, but personally, I'm most excited to live in Japan and to adapt to, experience, and appreciate their lifestyle. Simple things like taking public transportation as my primary means of transportation, walking and standing at the proper areas, basic etiquette, and going to places that locals go to. These are the things I'm most interested in. I think it'd be nice to get to the point where it seems like I'm a natural. I want to blend in, not stand out. Obviously, the biggest barrier is the language, which I can't do much about. However, the main reason why this is my approach to my trip is twofold. First, I want to live outside of the US for a period of time, hopefully for at least a year, assuming this trip goes well. And so I think this trip will give me a taste of what that kind of life might look like. Second, I appreciate how intentional Japan is about all aspects of life. It is evident in the architecture, the food, the hygiene, and infrastructure. I'd love to hone that quality of my character by immersing myself in it. And so I don't want to merely enjoy the consequences of those choices, but to be cognizant and appreciative of how it influences one's experience as well as society and to some degree attempt to participate in it. To be honest, it's been pretty challenging. I'm a coward, and being in a foreign place is an excellent environment to expose that. I've already had several instances where I'd stand outside of a restaurant or shop I was interested in, yet too timid to enter because I felt ashamed of my inability to communicate, or that I simply felt out of place, intruding on the local space. I also felt a bit isolated, wishing there was someone who I could do things with and think in a similar way. I also struggled a bit to sort out my spending philosophy, and at times forgot that I am indeed a tourist, being too conservative in fear of getting a bad deal or thinking it's not worth it or it's a trap. Now that I've been starting to find a balance and I feel like I have the opportunity to live, I've been enjoying the change of scenery and pace in life. And I think that regardless of how boring or exciting I make this trip to be, I'll have a good time. However, I do want to thrive, so there are a few goals that I have for this time. First, I want to make at least one friend here. I think people are awesome, and I know it'd make memories all the more sweeter and transform my experience. And who knows, maybe I'll be able to bless someone else's life. Second, I want to bring back gifts for my friends and family that are thoughtful and something they'd enjoy. I want to experience the beauty of the landscape here. The train ride home is so beautiful, the alleyways are picturesque. I definitely want to visit a lot of shrines and hike and bike. I want to buy an outfit that has style and something that I enjoy wearing. Honestly, should have done this before, but being in Japan feels like a great excuse to chip the bank a bit. Lastly, I want to pick up enough Japanese to get through a meal with only Japanese. I know this is ambitious, but I could use a good challenge to push myself. One last thing, I know this is a late and I missed the deadline, which is ironic given that I'm in Japan, which emphasizes punctuality. I think in the past week I was asked to be on time at least 5 times. However, this project hasn't turned out to be what I want. I kind of treated each 2 month period to be a sort of essay deadline, that I plan out how I will cram it right before the end of the month. So instead, I want to make a regular habit to commit time every week and to try to finish these around every 2 months. This one wasn't the most thoughtful essay. It kind of turned into a thought dump. However, These were thoughts that I needed to get out onto paper and incomprehensible words to keep myself accountable and sharpen my vision.